special, obviously. Honestly, I've never been a big fan of media in team halls of fame or league, but it is special. As I've said before, I didn't score any goals. I signed no one to a contract. I didn't sharpen skates. Didn't stitch anyone up. I coached a lot from the press box. Said some guys should maybe be traded. So, but no, it does mean a lot, especially an organization with the history that the Amherst has, and the support of the fans through the years. It's definitely special.
Speaking of that, you are only the second reporter to be inducted in the Amherst Hall of Fame. The first one over 30 years ago. Talk to me about what that means. Leaving ways.
Haven't been that many. I mean, Hans Tanner was the first, and it's a little different. I mean, Hans actually sat in the bus, with coaches and talked about who they could find. With Don Cherry when they were an independent team. I didn't tell him, well, a couple of times, you should sign this guy. I guess I wrote a few of those types of things. But yeah, it's the longevity. I mean, I covered the team 31 years. I really thought when I moved here from Minnesota, I would be here 2 years, 3 years, maybe 4, and then I'd move back. Here I am. I couldn't handle winter anymore, so you're stuck with me.
So over the span of 30 years covering on Amherst, what was one of your fondest memories here?
I think 2 games really stick out. The 93 semifinals, Game 7. Binghamton had 124 points, 57 wins, records that I think still stand in the American League. They were supposed to cruise to the Calder Cup, and the Amherst knocked them off in 7. In Binghamton, the fans carried Ole Kolzig, the Amherst goalie, out on their shoulders out to the bus. And then Game 7 against Portland, that championship series in '96, where Scotty Nickel scores the game in the overtime goal in Game 5. They come home, winning Game 7 in a game that was truly amazing. I've never been in a building anywhere where the building was that loud. It was a smaller building then. The noise didn't go anywhere, and it was an amazing atmosphere, which hopefully can be recaptured again sometime here.
So speaking of Scotty Nickel, the 2 of you were both unanimously selected to be in this Hall of Fame. How cool is it for you to be alongside somebody that you spent a really long time covering?
Well, and that's the thing that in this job, I liked what I did, but I liked what I did because of the people. And Scotty's one of those. I mean, just the person he is, the way he conducted himself. And you can tell his kids now. I mean, his family is, it's pretty special. I think as a father, he's got to be pretty proud. But look at how he played the game, where he got. Nobody epitomizes Amherst hockey. I mean, 6 years here, finally got his chance, and 12, 13 years later, he's still in the NHL. So I think that says a lot about who he was. A guy who was about as far down the draft pool as you could get in an 11th round. To play that long and that many games says a great deal.
What were your feelings when you first learned that the Amherst wanted to put you into their Hall of Fame?
Again, it's sort of that, well, you know what, it's media. I was just doing my job for another team. I mean, my team was the D&C. I actually had that conversation once with an Amherst, Steve Shields. His rookie year, gave up 10 goals in Syracuse on a Saturday night, and I had to talk to him afterward. You don't want to, it's not pleasant. And he was a little perturbed and said, I'm not talking to you until you start writing like you're a part of this team. And I said, you know what, that's fine. I respect your opinion, what you feel, but just got to let you know, I'm not a part of it. My team's the DNC. This is your team, and I'm just writing about it. We got along great after that. I mean, it was a tough learning experience for him. The next year, he's a Calder Cup winning goalie.
Any words of wisdom for any journalists starting out? With the media changing from print to digital, you managed to kind of stay on top of that with tweeting and doing a lot digitally for digital content. Any words of wisdom for someone getting into the business now?
Well, I think it's still the same. The job is the same. And I always wanted to be fair. I mean, I think that's what I was. you can be critical, but I always preferred, it was easier to let the players, let the coach or the players' words be the critical voice. I could set it up with a transitional paragraph and then let them say how bad they were, or what was wrong, or what has to be better. And that's probably, I thought that was the best way to be fair. And regardless of what medium, how you're delivering your story, I think that's the most important thing, to gain respect from the people that you're working with every day.
With the talk going around the past week or so about the possibility that the Amherst may leave Rochester, how does that make you feel?
I don't see it ever happening. It's not what the pool is about. The guys overspent by $300 million to keep the Bills in Buffalo. They're not poaching a team that's been around longer than the Sabres and longer than the Bills from Rochester. They do need to get the city to work together with them. I think it's going to happen, but sometimes you got to rattle some cages to make it happen, and to me, it seems what it is.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.